subscribed, and that honestly makes me so happy. Thank you so much for watching. Um, today I wanted to do my top favorite, I guess, self-help books or self-improvement books. They're all kind of about either understanding what love is and just also working on how you view the world. They all, I feel, really helped me get a new perspective on things that I didn't even know that I had to change. It's one of those things where, like, you have always seen the world a certain way, and then you are given a book or someone tells you something, and you're like, oh my god, I need to just open up my mind more. So these are the books that kind of did that for me, that made me feel more enlightened. So the first book is All About Love by Bell Hooks. All about love. Also, book tapping is one of my favorite triggers, so I hope you enjoy that. So, this book is essentially all about love. It really talks about changing love from a noun to a verb and something that is more actionable and giving it a definition. I've always thought of myself as a very loving person. I would say that I never really knew what it was or had a definition of what love was, and this kind of helped me to figure that out. So essentially now, I wouldn't just go by saying love is a feeling. I would say it is the act of really wanting someone to be happy and well and wanting to grow with them and them to grow by themselves. And there's a lot more to it essentially, but I have learned to give it a more of a verb, or I've learned to treat it more as a verb rather than a noun, and it's really helped my relationship with love and loving and being able to go into relationships with anyone, family, friends, partners, and really approach it from an authentic and genuine place of loving. I really loved this book. It really helped me grow. And I'll read you a quote from it. Let's see if I can find a good one. Okay, this was a really interesting idea for me. And I don't know if people might have, like, it's been popping up on my For You page, so maybe you've seen it on like TikTok or Instagram or something. But the idea of limerence, which is that people become really infatuated and attached to someone quickly, not because they love them, but because they feel like they need them. And there's another word for it that Bell Hooks touches upon, so I'll read you this excerpt. To truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients: care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as honest and open communication. Learning faulty definitions of love when we are quite young makes it difficult to be loving as we grow older. We start out committed to the right path, but go in the wrong direction. Most of us learn early on to think of love as a feeling. When we feel deeply drawn to someone, we connect with them. That is, we invest feelings or emotion in them. That process of investment, wherein a loved one becomes important to us, is called cathexis. So I really liked that excerpt because it's something that I never thought about, how people, when they're drawn to something, always say, oh my god, it's love at first sight. And I mean, while that could exist, I think a lot of the times it is just being having a very strong attraction to someone, and then feeling like that attraction must automatically be love when it's not, because that's just a feeling without any of the desire to care, nurture, respect, cherish. Like, all of those things have not come yet. So yeah, that was very interesting to me. So that's all about love. So the next book is also kind of about love. It's called Be Not Afraid of Love. Be not afraid of love by Mimi Zhu. Okay, so this one is also so invaluable. The first one is very much like an older person passing along knowledge, and this one is like your best friend helping you through a healing journey. So basically, this author went through a very traumatic relationship, and they needed to heal from it and be able to grow and accept love in their life again. So this book breaks down the different stages of the grief and the hurt that comes with feeling like you will never love again. So for example, there's numbness, anger, anxiety, grief, distrust, shame. Then there's presence, community, miracle, love. So it kind of goes through all the phases of what you need to go through and overcome within yourself to be able to be a person that is open and welcoming of love again. And it was so beautiful and relatable, and she gives a lot of personal anecdotes that really make you feel seen, because a lot of people, I'm sure, have had similar situations to this, and rather than feel like bad about yourself or like you've done something wrong, she just makes it known that it's okay, it's life, and the best or the most important thing is to not let it overcome or overwhelm you, and that you must get past it. So I really, really, really like this book, because it's just such a powerful work, and I think anyone can really benefit from it. So let me find you a fun passage to read. There comes a time when you have to realize that everyone's at fault in some way in a relationship or in their life. Something will come to a head. Nothing's always perfect. And there's this one section about owning up to your ghost or your demons, and I think it's so beautiful, because it's not about judging yourself or disliking yourself. It's about recognizing those faults and just healing from them. So I'll read you a few passages from this chapter that really spoke to me. So she writes, I cannot return to a self who is untouched by pain. And then she talks about guilt and shame. And she says guilt is the feeling you get when you are aware that you have done something wrong, while shame is the state of being that tells you that your entire self is wrong. Shame is the pervasive sense that we are wrong, not that we did something wrong. Guilt, on the other hand, is an uncontrollable awareness of our actions. And the important takeaway that I got from that is that you cannot sit in shame. It'll just rot and fester within you, because you just keep telling yourself that you are wrong. And that's not the case. Your actions or your mistakes do not define you, but you do need to learn from them. And that's what guilt is. Being aware of your actions and what they've done to someone or yourself, and allowing that to be a learning, like letting that be the first part of learning, and undoing what you don't wish to become. worthy of love. The next two books kind of go together. So it's A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So, I read A New Earth before The Power of Now. I don't recommend that. I think you should read The Power of Now and then A New Earth, because they kind of complement each other. A New Earth is a bit more intense, but A Power of Now is more accessible. So, I'll start with The Power of Now. I keep saying, The Power of Now is about embracing the present moment. And actually, I haven't finished this yet. So maybe I'm not the most enlightened or best at embracing the present moment. But the point is that I'm working on it. But yeah, this book is all about embracing the present moment and realizing that your anxiety, your depression, and things like that. And I'm not saying that those are easy fixes or that they're that you shouldn't feel that way, because I suffer from both of those myself. But this book just gives you the idea and the tool to try and see things differently, to realize that dwelling in anxiety is like predicting or worrying about the future, and then depression is stressing about the past. And this is saying if you're in the present moment, that those things should not affect you as much or at all, really. And while it's a very difficult thing to put into practice right off the bat, it's very powerful. And I do think it leads to a happier life, just being with yourself where you are at that exact point in time. Okay, from the little that I've read, let me find a good excerpt to read to you. But I like this first one because it also reminds me of Prince, because I think he has a similar quote, or the introduction of the book, the first sentences. I have little use for the past and really think about it. And I think that's just so powerful. Just so powerful. Like that kind of control over your thoughts and emotions. It's amazing. So the single most vital step on your journey toward enlightenment is this: learn to disidentify from your mind. And that is so crucial. Sometimes, and I think you've probably heard this before, that people say, like, your thoughts are not you. And I think a lot of the times people have like dark thoughts or sad thoughts, and that just becomes who they are. But that's not the case. Your mind or your thoughts don't control you. You need to just identify that that is just something that happened and let it go. This book is a lot about letting go. Disconnecting from the false self, the ego, all of those things. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy, but this is a really great tool and very accessible way to start practicing it in your daily life. I really recommend this. Okay, so A New Earth is the same concept of The Power of Now, but tenfold. Yeah, it really digs into the ego, how it how to separate from it, the different ways that it's integrated into your life through like trauma, your career, like how you view yourself. There's so many different things that go into the ego, and he breaks them, a lot of them, down in here, and it's so fascinating. I really recommend it. It's not a one-time read. You have to keep going back to this book because there's so many things that you just overlook in your day-to-day life. Like, let me try to find an example. This is talking about just, I guess, self-doubt and not feeling within your power. The ego's unconscious core feeling of not enough causes it to react to someone else's success as if that success had taken away something from me. It doesn't know that your resentment of another person's success curtails your own chances of success. In order to attract success, you need to welcome it wherever you see it. So that's just a big way of being. Like, jealousy just harms you, and that's just caused by your ego. Like, your ego is bruised because you see someone else doing something better than you, or they're somewhere that you wish to be, but that has no reflection on you. It's not about you. And dwelling in jealousy or a state of like, I don't know, self-hatred or something because of that only stops you from being able to grow. So it's really a lot about disconnecting from the ego and not letting things like that get to you so much. And another quote is, I don't have a life, I am life. I and life are one. So how could I lose my life? How can I lose something that I don't have in the first place? How can I lose something that I am? It is impossible. I think that's a beautiful quote on realizing that ownership isn't what defines you. You are intrinsic to life because you are, life is. And I don't know, there's something so lovely about that, and the idea of like, you're being, you right now, watching me talking to you, we're both just being, we're just living, we're alive, and we can't lose that because it's what we are. It's beautiful. So that's this one. Those are all the books that I have to show you. All of my favorites that are heart-opening, life-affirming, life-changing, all of the above. Here they are. I really hope you liked this video. Let me know if you have any other recommendations on what you want to see. But yeah, that's all for today, and I will be back on Sunday, I think. I will be moving soon, so I'm gonna have to change my setup. I will have a better setup. I'm sorry, this is not the prettiest background. I'm hoping that the content makes up for it and that you're able to relax through my video. So I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you had fun. I hope you're having a good day or night. And thank you so much again for all of you who have subscribed. You have made my day and my heart so warm. I'm so happy that you're a part of the channel.